Today is Wednesday, January 4th, 2023, back for another review. And I am also back in town, back home, feeling refreshed from the holiday. Hope everyone had a great holiday season, a great new year, and is ready for the start of the new trading year. So let's get right back into it. Today, I passed on a setup that would have been a winner, and it could have been about 3R or so, 2.5 3R. I'm going to go break down that trade and why I did not take it in just a second. But first, let's talk about the flow of the day today here in NASDAQ. As you can see on the hourly chart, we have our Asia range. London broke out of that range, saw a nice rejection off of this gap, and then price kind of stayed around the high of Asia for several hours until we got into New York Stock Exchange Open. Price then pushed up again, got rejected, and then we had a news announcement, high impact news, manufacturing PMI at about 10 a.m. As you can see, price did push down from there, creating the low of the day down by this 10,860 level. More on that in just a minute. Then price had a solid bounce back up again into this fair value gap, where it then kind of, again, just bouncing up and down between these levels for the remainder of the day. So kind of, to me, looked a little ugly. There were opportunities to buy and sell today, but for me, it wasn't very clean. So what was the trade that I passed on today? Well, let's put on some of the annotations here. And I want to first start off by taking a look at this red line here. This is what I have as the previous week's close. Normally, I won't mark out a previous week's close because I can just usually mark out the weekly open of this week because it's usually the same level as the last week's close. But when you have a gap like this where we gapped up to open right above here at 11,123-ish, this is the weekly open, which is also an important level, but we're just not near it right now. I have this is a weekly level, a weekly close, so it's a valid resistance level for me. And it lines up also with this fair value gap here from this move down from Tuesday. And you can just see how price is just rejecting off of this level. So it is a resistance level. It is, to me, there was confluence to take a short kind of off of this area if there was a setup. And yeah, we did have some divergence from the high created fresh out of London, where these highs here did not make a higher high. But if I take a look quickly at the S&P at ES, you can see that ES went quite a bit higher. So we had the divergence. And, the reason why, so there's two reasons why I didn't really want to short. Price at the open spikes down, plunges to these equal lows, taps below this low here, rejects back up, takes the high of that candle again, hits the weekly level, sells off, and we just have this like kind of choppy looking, wicky looking price action on the 5-minute chart. So that's number one. Now, if we go to the 1-minute chart, we have the false start, which we like, below these lows. So this sudden move down, anyone shorting the break of these lows or seeing this these solid down candles coming in, shorting, putting their stop here, they prematurely are in the trade. Price comes back up, takes them out, rejects off that weekly level, displaces lower again, takes out this short-term low and this short-term low, leaves this imbalance. Price comes back up. This could have been the entry, but we already took out sell-side liquidity. So we would have had to have a really solid target lower that would be worth the risk to reward. So we do have this untapped low here from Asia low, or the low of day up to that point, and that would have been valid. So this could have been, I think, about 2R to that point, if I'm not mistaken. But this is 10 minutes before the high impact news, the manufacturing PMI. So this would have been an entry here. Price would have come down. I could have taken a partial or something. Although right at the news, you don't know it's going to do this yet. So between this looking very choppy on the 5-minute chart and the fact that we'd taken these lows prior to the news And furthermore, we also have FOMC later in the day, knowing that we have non-farm payroll on Friday. It's the first week of the new year. I'm just going to err on the side of caution. Any doubt, any hesitation, I'm just going to sit it out and see how it plays out. And that's what happened. And then if I turn even to the higher time frame, I can make a bullish or a bearish argument. So let's take a look at it. This is a pretty interesting support level. So as you can see, the low of the day today reacted off of this prior day low level. And we just have this general support area where prices come down, had a nice reaction, come down almost again, another reaction, was peppering the support area for a while, sudden move below the lows, then a very aggressive reclaim of this support level, taking out this high, leaving this imbalance. Price comes back down, fills the gap once, hits that daily low level. Very dynamic move away. Price then comes all the way back down, takes the liquidity from that move again into this imbalance, completes the fill from this gap, and then moves away again. Now this time we are moving away, but not as dynamically as we were here or here. So see how here it's very, very weak, moves off of the support, and then it collapses below. I wonder if we're going to see something similar again where we collapse below again, given how weak this move is. But if I zoom out even more, we can see that this level, this previous day's low level, is also had this dynamic move away. And if you keep extending this line back even further, you can just sort of see this general area right here. We're just getting these big bullish moves off this level. So, I don't know if this is institutional buying for a big move up. If you go to the daily chart and switch to a line chart, the line chart's looking at the closes, you can kind of see, again, we're getting these big moves, again, on the daily chart, these big rallies, and then prices come into it again most recently and now starting to see a rally. So the market on the daily chart clears above these equal highs and closes above. I think then we could see a move realistically up into this 11,600 area, this imbalance right here. But also I'm again, just open to the opposite, because we're still kind of bearish and we have this monthly low right here. So, and I would also love to see if non-farm payroll produced some sort of capitulation event where, we haven't really seen a lot of, even though this has been a bear market, we haven't really seen, in my opinion, that sudden drop that has everyone kind of freaking out. So it wouldn't surprise me. I'm also going to be on the lookout for, let's say, if non-farm payroll shows big recession signs and we get a kind of a sudden spike lower, and then we start seeing, from there, bullish price action back up. Perhaps on the monthly chart, we wick down and then close as a January as a monthly pin bar. But again, this is getting too far ahead. We're still at the very beginning of the month. So, we really have a lot to see. But that's just one of the things I'm curious about. So I could see this. That's why I'm also just not certain right now of how I want to trade these days. That's just what I'm on the lookout for. If we go back to today, I said earlier that, we had opportunities to sell and to buy. So I went over the sell trade that I passed on, didn't take. If I turn on the DR indicator, this is something that I'm playing around with for another scenario. I have about 2 more scenarios that I'm kind of testing and tracking and keeping an eye on. But we have a close above the DR high confirming that this low is likely in. And then we have this consolidation, this order block right at the IDR low. And price comes into discount and hits this consolidation and has a nice reaction. So this is something that I'm more or less tracking. I'm not really taking trades off of it on this alone, but you might be able to read between the lines and kind of see what a future scenario 5 or scenario 6 that I'm planning to talk about. I'm not going to explain all the parameters of what I'd be looking for, but just information gathering at the moment, and maybe in the future weeks, I will release a new video on scenario 5 and scenario 6. So with that said, that's all I got for tonight. Again, no trades for me today, and I will be proceeding cautiously the rest of the week, and we will be back with another video very soon. Until then, keep grinding, trade safe, and have a good week.